That's great. Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, August 1st, 2023. August 1st already. Holy cow.
Woo!
It's flying by. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience, this locally owned, operated business has provided quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Like Fitzy and I, they believe that it's the little things that make a big difference. Give the owner of Professional Exteriors a text or a call right on his personal cell phone. It's on the screen, 715-520-2271. Fitzy, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty well. Just found out a couple minutes ago, right before we went live here, that you have a hard cutoff time, about 9:05.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I got another meeting in the next room over. So.
All right. And we have a lot to get to today. You had a couple of press releases. Our headlines were Saturday night crash and Barron leaves juveniles injured. These were both from yesterday from you. Another was Barron County deputies swiftly apprehend armed suspect after 911 call reports threats at local establishment. I have a couple insider stories that I want to get your thoughts on. And of course, if we get time, which I don't know if we will, I wanted just your thoughts on the fact that Governor Tony Evers has extended the application deadline for Barron County Circuit Court judge. Just kind of get your thoughts on that. Hey, there's the man right there. 715-520-271, or just send him a Facebook message.
He's going to have to order some shingles from me, I hope, this week. So that's the goal.
How bad was that for you?
Oh, it was terrible. I mean, the whole city race lake, and Brian's been doing a great job getting a lot of jobs, and he needs help, and he knows he's not the only contractor, and that's what I appreciate about Brian. He's like, hey, this is my bid. If you want me, you can have me. If not, go to the next guy. I mean, yeah. He's not a hard seller, but he does good work. He's going to be fast. He's going to be awesome. So we appreciate everything that he's done for my family and my mom and dad. A lot of people in my dad's neighborhood. He's doing some extra work for some guy that his insurance isn't covering everything. And
that is totally Brian.
That's totally Brian. So I don't want to get too far into it. That's Brian's deal. But he does a lot of, he gives back to the community. That's what local contractors do, is they give back. And he's not the only local contractor. There's lots of local contractors. Brian says use local contractors. He supports the other guys doing the job. He can't do every house in the city race. Like, I know he'd love to, but right. Even he knows he can't do it. So
yeah, and you can trust him. Yeah, because there's a lot of scam people out there. I mean, just saying. Holy cow, we should like charge him extra for all these compliments that we're giving him. So Brian, I'm sending you an invoice. Jeepers. All right. Well, we always start, before we get to all of these things, we always like to start with some sports questions. And as a reminder, the reason that we kind of start with a couple of sports topics is because we have to get into some heavy stuff. We always end up having to. We always try to find levity in those things anyway. But sports is the one thing that unites us. It doesn't divide us. There's no hatred. If you have a Packers sign in your yard and your neighbor has a Cowboys sign in your yard, you don't like hate them for it. In fact, it encourages conversation, and you kind of rib them a little bit and whatever. Now, if it's like a Trump sign and a Biden sign, now it's politics, and now it's like, well, troopers, I can't stand the neighbors. Could you see the neighbors? Whatever. We don't like politics in sports. However, this actually kind of leads to my question, which I typically don't.
Politics in sports.
Right, I don't want to, but that's why I wanted to ask you, and that is. There's not a lot of sports going on right now anyway, but the U.S. women's soccer team, they're playing, they're representing the United States, obviously. And there's been controversy again. Yeah, I think they had a draw a few hours ago, actually. It's on a different timeline. So they're going to advance to the final 16 or the round of 16. But I looked up this morning, and these are from UK websites and news outlets, not even America. And one of the headlines is USA players snubbed national anthem against Portugal after Women's World Cup controversy. Going into a little bit more, the U.S. team's national anthem protest symbolized the greatest threat to America, disunity. That was another headline. And for people who don't know, essentially what this is 11 of the 14 players of the women that are representing the United States on the team are not putting their hands on the heart or singing the national anthem. Interestingly, I can't find out what they're protesting or trying to draw attention to. No kidding. I looked up 4 different articles this morning, and I'm like, but what are they actually?
You're out there, you're protesting, but no one knows what.
I don't even know what it's about. Yeah. So my question is, Do you have I don't know if the word's problem with that. I'm going to use it because I can't think of another word for it. But do you have an issue with this? Do you have a problem with that when you see this? I get protesting. I get drawing attention to something. But when it comes to sports, when it comes to representing the United States of America, do you have a problem with that?
Yeah, I do. I have a problem with that. I mean, you're there. Technically, you're being paid to represent the United States of America. So you're being paid to do a job. It's a little bit different when you're there and you choose to do it on your own and do whatever. You're there on your own free will. And again, if you're going to protest something, then it's team unity. And what am I protesting? Whatever it is, something that happened in the United States you're upset about.
There's a lot you could be upset about. I get it.
Right. You can, but raise awareness towards something and tell me what it's for. Maybe I understand it a little bit better. Maybe I can get on your side and agree with it. But it's the national anthem. That's what we stand for. Just hold your hand. You can protest. You can do a lot of things, especially in the public limelight that you're in. You can raise awareness without raising awareness in a negative tone. I mean, that creates so much division. That's not what we're looking for. We shouldn't do it.
There's a lot of other countries, and these were a lot of the stories that I read this morning, that they're comparing to the other soccer teams, and during their national anthem, they're all hands on the heart. They're belting out as loudly as possible. And again, these are UK websites, not even American websites. This isn't like Fox News or something. This is UK websites that are saying this is an embarrassment, and a lot of people are saying it's embarrassment. I think one of them even said the reigning U.S. women's national team has sparked further controversy at the World Cup after once again remaining silent during the playing of the national anthem. The reigning champions have been slammed in recent weeks for their failure to sing the Star-Spangled Banner, with fans taking to social media to brand them embarrassing and disrespectful. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now that it probably would be embarrassing to be, I'm from America. There's some things I get it. I really do. But come on, it's a national anthem. I've never liked it when people have knelt. I'm not taking away their right to be able to do things, and I understand there's a lot of things that we need to bring attention to. I just don't like that. Not the national anthem. No, I can't get behind that one.
Right. It'd be different if you've never done it before and you've said, I stand by this. My beliefs are, but I've never put my hand. But now I'm just not going to do it because I'm mad about something. That's not the way.
It's not the place.
Yeah, let's just no.
Yeah.
And you're getting paid to do a job and represent me. I'm an American.
Right.
Represent me. So you're out there representing me. And so I got an issue with it.
Yeah. Dad had asked, he texted right before we went live. Sports question, what time to go? Yeah, we're going to be talking about the golf outing tomorrow when we get time here. But I think it's at 1 o'clock. We'll be getting a little after 12.
I think
Dad's using our show. When, this is something you just,
call you later.
Just call me later. Right? Okay.
I did get my golf clubs out of the shed, though, into the garage. So I'm almost ready.
Okay.
It's going to be bad tomorrow.
Yeah, it is going to be. Yeah, but we have a secret weapon. It's called positivity.
Oh, yes. There we go.
Which usually runs out after the third hole.
Hopefully we can buy a mulligan for that.
Yeah. All right. So you have a cutoff time at 9:05. We have a lot to get to. So what is your sports question? And I'll keep my answer short so we can move on.
So Hall of Fame game. You going to watch it on Thursday night? Football starts. And it's the Jets.
What?
Jets play the Browns Thursday night. NFL starts.
Oh, so that's the first preseason game.
Right.
So nobody's really, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be playing, right?
Oh, we got it. He's got to play one
series, one drive.
Series. I think he's got it, right?
Well, I don't know. Well, because it's called the Hall of Fame game, it's the first one, right? And I didn't even know that was this Thursday already. Holy cow. Man, Everything's coming up so fast. I've seen pictures of him, and he looks really slimmed down.
Yeah.
He's going to get injured this year. Anyway, I'll Thursday night, I'll watch it. But
I think Dalvin Cook signs with them too. The Jets. I think that makes them tougher if Dalvin Cook signs with them.
Yeah, is there that? Doesn't he have controversy around him? Wasn't it something about was it a domestic or something?
There's always controversy about something, right?
I know, but a lot of people are saying that the Packers fans are upset because Aaron Rodgers has taken a pay cut.
That was going to be my other question.
Yeah, and Packers fans are going, well, why didn't you do that when you were with us?
Yeah.
But I think he just desperately wants to win a Super Bowl so he can throw it in Packers ownership face? I don't know.
Which is America? No.
Which is America, right? I'm going to protest that. I tell you.
I'm going to protest that.
I don't know.
All right, we better move on.
Yeah, let's move on. All right, so we have 5 things to get to here, including a couple press releases you sent out yesterday. We'll get to all that in 15 seconds after a word from Spooner Health.
Satisfaction surveys and in conversations with patients, they appreciate the fact that staff got to know them. Staff really took their preferences into account, and they just feel grateful that they are being cared for as a person.
To learn more about our services, visit spoonerhealth.com.
Well, I just, during that little break there, I saw what Brian put up. Professional Exteriors and Interiors is money we make from the storm. We are donating 5% of that money to Emily and Hunter Fund. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, Brian, can he just be any better? I don't think so. I mean, he like sets the bar for this is how you do it. I'm making money, but I'm giving back.
Yeah.
Good night. That is.
Yeah, I can't see that commenting in yet, so I don't know where that one is. Again, we got to figure that out.
Maybe that was like a reply. I don't know. Yeah, some reason you can't see some of the things, and maybe I'm missing some of them too. So, all right. So we have to get to it. You had 2 press releases you sent out yesterday. We'll start with the first one here. Saturday night. This is our headline, not yours. Saturday night crash in Barron County leaves juveniles injured. For people who weren't aware of that, what was the situation?
Yeah, we had a 3-car accident. Somebody was waiting to turn into a driveway. They got rear-ended, pushed their car into another car that was coming on the opposite way. So it was a head-on crash besides the rear end, and sent several people to the hospital, one flown out. Kind of a mess. I mean, 9:30 on Highway 48 on a Saturday night. Everybody's gonna, not real serious injuries, so that's great. About all I can tell you there was some juveniles, some adults, lots of ambulances that didn't know what we had right away. A couple people in every car. So it was one of those ones that you don't know how bad it's going to be, and it just sounds bad when people are calling it in until you get there.
If I recall, your press release had stated one person, I can't remember if it was a juvenile or not, was airlifted, I believe, but
Right.
It also said with non-life-threatening injuries. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And that was when I saw that, it just, I don't know, made me wonder. We don't usually see press releases that show lifelink involved and in the same sentence with non-life-threatening injuries. Usually that would be an ambulance or something.
Yeah, but
if it's
it's still serious, and there's, they usually fly most people out when there's a head injury of some sort, because
sure.
you need to get to a hospital farther away than some of our local hospitals. There's trauma 1 and trauma 2, and I don't know if I'm using the right words, but there's different levels to each hospital in our area, and so if you have this injury, you need a level of whatever, and there's protocols on the closest hospital that they have to fly to. So just because it's a Mayo helicopter doesn't mean they fly to a Mayo hospital. I mean, sometimes they try to, and sometimes it is because Mayo is a level, whatever, trauma 1 or whatever they call them. So it's really interesting. But again, it's a blessing to have that helicopter so close. I don't think our local helicopter was available. I think our second helicopter had come, and they have they're from 20 minutes away. But they can make some speed in 20 minutes. They can get pretty far. So we have a wonderful array of helicopters in our area to help people when they're in need, and I love our helicopters in our area.
Well, since I saw Dad on when he had his heart attack/stroke, that helicopter, I mean, that was so fascinating when we were there. And then, he was getting carted into the helicopters a few years ago, and kind of find out they have a lot of stuff in the helicopter. It's like an ambulance. They have a lot of things in an ambulance. I really thought, I'm thinking like MASH. Just put them on the side, take them somewhere. And when they get there, that's when they'll start doing the work. No, I mean, it's like an ambulance in the air. They have a lot of stuff in there, so they're immediately getting treatment in the helicopter. And you're right, they go fast. I mean, how long does it take to get from like Rice Lake to Eau Claire in a helicopter?
15 minutes, 20 minutes.
That's ridiculous. I know, but the whole time, they're also being able to provide care, and that part I did not know.
Yeah, it's not MASH, no.
Put them on the side.
Cover on the short way. What's MASH?
Oh, come on. MASH is awesome. Please tell me, is there anyone watching that has never heard of MASH? And if so, I'm so sorry for your life. It is such a brilliant show. I love it. All right, so the second one that you put out, the non-life threatening injuries. Have you heard anything with the one that
No,
was? Okay.
I don't have any updates on any of them, and that's a good sign when I don't hear any updates, because
Good
that means
point.
they're better. I only hear worse, so that's a good thing.
Good point. The second one that you put out, again, this was our headline. Barron County deputies swiftly. Do you like that? Swiftly?
Yeah,
I put that
I
in
did like
just for you, actually.
Yeah.
Barron County deputies swiftly apprehend armed suspect after 911 call reports threat at a local establishment. Again, for people who didn't see that on our website, I know you put it on your Facebook page as well because you're very transparent. What was the situation there?
Some person went into a bar and made some threats and pulled out a gun and waved it around and said some things. The bar immediately went into a lockdown, called 911. We located the suspect, took him down at gunpoint. He did have a weapon on him. There's some question if a round was fired off. That's under investigation, not by the officers and not while we were in contact with him, but from the 911 call to where we located him. There's some question about a round being shot off. I don't know by him or by who. I don't know the answer to that. But our team is looking into that. And I just, not a very serious case, but not something, but I just want people to understand that this is what our deputies are dealing with on a Sunday night, 12:30 at night. You think it's a wind down for the weekend, and we have this, and I'm sure alcohol might be involved. I saw some comments on Facebook from a family member that says he's a really nice guy when he's sober and not when he's drunk. And I don't know the answer to if he was intoxicated or not. That's the district attorney's opinion, but I get it. Alcohol is a drug. It changes the way people feel. We wouldn't have a lot of crime or a lot of arrests if people didn't get drunk and, domestic things like that. So alcohol is a contributing factor in a lot of these things, a lot of our crashes and things. And, I don't like to put that in. I don't like to embarrass somebody like that, but that's the reality. Is we arrested this guy at gunpoint. Anytime we use what I would consider force, I like to tell people about it. I think it's fair. It's being transparent. It's being, and let people know that this is what our deputies are dealing with. This is why we added a fifth deputy to our night shift. This is a major case that we had to take time, and we had people that were scared, and that's not appropriate, not okay. We're not doing it. He was charged with terroristic threats because of the things he said in the bar. Now, whether he gets charged with that today or not, he will go to court today. I see he's on the court list. He got held over yesterday. So he hasn't been charged what he'll be charged with, but probably be charged with that, because you can't walk into a theater and yell fire. You just can't do that and create fear and panic. And in today's world, in the active shooter world, you just can't do what people used to get away with. And that's just not appropriate anymore. And people don't, and it could be true because we have active shooter situations and we have things like that. So it could have turned real ugly really quick. If somebody else has a weapon and they see that guy with a weapon, and then there's, things happen. Didn't happen in this case. I'm just using this as in general terms. So very, very serious case that ended very appropriately. No one was injured. He was taken into custody without incident. There was a firearm recovered, et cetera, et cetera. So pretty serious case for, your wind down to the weekend after, this bad crash Saturday night, and you're working on that, and you got a few other calls throughout the night. We had another couple of crashes over the weekend, minor crashes, but, enough where I met all the squads one time going home, Friday night, and they were all going out of town. And I'm like, where are you guys going? They're like, we got in one vehicle crash where alcohol was involved. No one was hurt really bad. So, I didn't do a press release. I could do press releases all day.
All day.
On every call.
Yeah, right.
You see the logs. So,
yep.
And so I just want people to know what we're doing. And that's why I put out some of these press releases, and some are very serious. And anytime we use force or attempted to use force, I like to tell people about it.
Yeah. Now, I was a little surprised on how short the press release was, because you're right, it's a very serious thing, but I think a lot of it is it's not that you can't say too much, but the part that I want to know about is this is another, we've had some, obviously, officers' deaths just in traffic stops in North Wisconsin. Hunter and Emily, jeepers, this is ridiculous. So when they go into this, and you get alerted, and they must be on a heightened. This isn't just a traffic stop. This is, we know a person has a gun. It is apparently at an establishment that serves alcohol, so you kind of have to assume. I mean, think you just assume. Maybe you just always have to assume they're on something anyway, because you never know. But going into this, and with all the things that are happening lately, does your team, have you guys had discussions about it's, the spidey sense, right? It's your hair goes up and you're almost nervous going into these. Like, how do you just shut that off and go and do your job and don't worry about, am I going to make it out? How do you do that?
You just do it. I mean, for me personally, you just do it. Now, it's different for every person, but you just have to go do your job. Our job is to protect people, to be there for them. And ultimately, we may have to use force if we have to. And what that force is, it's the force level continuum. We decide if it's verbal, physical, less lethal, lethal. I mean, we have to determine that. Sometimes we only have split seconds to determine that. It sucks, but I think no one ever thought that would happen here. It's happened here, so I'm trying to help people learn why the decisions we make when we make them. And the cops aren't perfect. We're never going to be perfect. No one's going to be perfect. We're not doing this again. We hope this person goes and gets help and solves all their problems in their life so we don't have to do this again. And this person gets help. That's all we ask for. Now, there'll probably be some punishment with it, but that's life. I mean, you have to accept that too. And hopefully you can come out of this and, we give people second chances and sometimes third chances, and that's okay. But we just keep doing our job and we'll be fine, but we appreciate the support. And I want people to know that we have to deal with some of this stuff.
It reminds me that yesterday we had a story up, an insider story that was about the Spooner Mobile Home Park. There was a homicide there a few years ago, and he was sentenced yesterday, and it was essentially 15 years in, 20 years out on supervision. And my understanding is there was maybe some like a blackout thing. I can't remember if it was drugs or alcohol. There was something else. There's maybe some mental health issues there. This individual. Well, if it's mental health, then he should be in a mental health facility. Right. And if he's not, then we treat him like everyone else, because 15 years in doesn't seem like a lot to me. You take a knife and stab it up, and then you murder somebody, and you get 15 years. I feel like, I'm not a big fan of mandatory minimums per se, but I feel like 15 years in is a little too light. Just saying. I feel like that should at least be 25 in. I don't know. That's weird. You're right. You throw in the alcohol factor, and it's a person to have other issues. Yeah, you want to be sympathetic to that and try to get them help, but there has to just also be
somewhere there's a line in there.
Right,
you can't cross this line.
And I don't think 15 years for a vicious homicide. I don't know. That one really didn't sit well with me. All right, so we have a couple more here. This is an insider story on Dryden Wire. Court sentences man convicted by jury for sexual assault of child victims. It's ridiculous that we keep having to do these stories, but as you and I have talked before, we're seeing a lot of these crimes against children, essentially. A man was convicted by a jury for sexual assault in Barron County. He was sentenced. It was an investigation by the Turtle Lake Police Department. Skipping all of Dixon's. So here's the sentence. All of Dixon's sentences are to be served concurrently, so he is ordered to serve 20 years of confinement and 10 years of extended supervision. I don't know if you were a part of that investigation. I think the Department of Homeland Security was also involved in that. But 20 years in for what's that?
Criminal investigation, not Homeland Security. I don't think it was Homeland Security.
I actually think it was. No, Department. They had to verify. I think they verified an image on. There's like 80,000 images, and like something like that. So they weren't actually here. I don't believe. But yeah, 20 years. I mean, this would be for sexual assault of child victims. I believe there was 2 different ones. 20 years in prison, 10 years. I mean, that's more than the dude just got murdering somebody.
I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, maybe it should be, but I mean, it shouldn't be. But yeah, I'm very happy with that sentence. I think we need to have that and show people that's where the child porn and our other cases like this need to have. And child porns have mandatory minimums. Murder doesn't have a mandatory minimum that I know of. I mean, maybe it does, but it's a good thing. Turtle Lake Police Department did a great job. 20 years that's a great sentence. And he'll have some time to think about it.
That's right. And the last one here was Case charging son with attempted homicide of mother bound over for trial. So there's not much here. I believe that your department is a part of this. The court has bound over for trial the case charging Michael Townsend, age 30, of Chautauqua, Wisconsin, with attempted homicide of his mother following a preliminary examination hearing in Barron County Circuit Court. The charges were filed against Townsend following an incident on June 5th, 2023, when Barron County Dispatch received a call from a distressed woman stating that her son had stabbed her. Multiple agencies assisted the Barron County Sheriff's Office with the safe resolution of the incident that culminated in the arrest of Townsend. So are you happy that if it's bound over for trial means that tells me there was no plea deal, right? Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, it means that we had enough evidence to charge him with the crime that he was charged with. In this case, it was it first degree attempted homicide?
Yeah, I don't have that in front of me.
You just have it. You have attempted homicide, but I believe it was first degree attempted homicide. I think
it's in the article. I was just grabbing the blurbs here.
Right. So that's a good thing. I mean, yeah, it means that we met all of the criteria for that crime. Every crime that you get charged with has criteria you have to meet, whether it's intent, blah, 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 whatever the things are in the jury instructions, you have to meet that. It means a judge just said, yes, you have enough to meet that. We have a little hearing where one or two of our deputies will testify in a preliminary hearing. Mm-hmm. So we, so we'll go with that.
All right. And which actually leads me to, I just wanted your quick takeaways here. We had a press release from Governor Tony Evers earlier this week. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers extends application deadline for Barron County Circuit Court judge. This, of course, is in relation. You have 3 judges in Barron, right? And one of them is Judge Bitney, who was the district attorney for a number of years when Dad was a sheriff here in Washburn County. And I believe he was the one who actually hired DeRusha at the DA's office. No kid. But he's going to be retiring effective September 15th. It's August 1st. When you see something like this, an extension, what do you think? Do you think, like I think, that either people that applied, no, or nobody applied? I don't know. What are your thoughts when you see? Are you concerned at all when it's your county, your judges, not your judges, but you know what I mean?
Right. I'm concerned.
You see an extension, it's like, that's probably not good. Or is it, no, that's normal process. I'm fine with it. Whatever.
No, I've talked to a lot of people that I don't think a lot of people want the job, which I don't like. I think private attorneys probably make too much money. That's probably why they don't want to go into this. I think there was a couple of applicants that were rejected for whatever reasons. I have no idea. And so now we're looking again, and hopefully someone else says, oh, I'll give it a shot now. And I think there's some great people out there that want the job that are just scared about elections, scared about whatever.
Yeah, because it's only for a year.
Right. You got to run again in April. You got to get in April. You have to get reelected already. And that April's coming very quickly. Yeah,
no kidding. And they still have to go to like baby judge school. Right. You still have to, like we call baby sheriff school when you're a sheriff, you go to, we can learn how to, be a sheriff.
I agree.
So then there's got to be the interviews, then there has to be the appointment, and then there's a lot of steps here. So what's that?
I see you did that for one of the district attorney jobs in the state too, is extended again. So
Price.
Either didn't have applicants or again, he rejected the applicants. I don't know. But yeah, it's just some of these jobs, I mean, it's tougher to fill. And just like cop jobs and judges and everybody's, it's just that tough to find people that want to do this kind of work. So
yeah, but a judge, that's the one that surprises me. And you're right about the defense, but judges, they make money. This isn't, they're my understanding, they're in the 6 figures, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this isn't an ADA job getting $30,000 a year, but now they've given those pay raises and stuff. But I mean, seriously, it's a thing. But I wonder if part of it is that in a year you have to run again. Well, actually,
less than 8 months you have to get elected.
But the term runs to July 31st. So it could be you go through all of this, get appointed, and then in 9 months you could be out of a job.
Well,
now
you got to remember, if no one really wants the appointment, I don't think anybody's going to run for
that's
election.
what you have to hope for, right? If you're running for it, like, okay, well, hopefully. And then if the people that, I do believe you're right, there were 2 people that applied for it and didn't get appointed. Now, if they run, well, who cares? You can just say, well, the governor didn't even want them. So, I'm just saying. So you pretty much have it's a good thing, and then it's a 6-year term. But yeah, it's that I get appointed now, but I could be out of a job. But as you and I have talked before, when you're a sheriff or a judge, it's tough man, unless you do something very public and very egregious, it's kind of hard to beat an incumbent. And even though it's only 9 months worth, you're still an incumbent.
Right.
Hopefully
I
that
agree.
gets resolved.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, we have the golf outing tomorrow. It looks like there's going to be some thunderstorms. I looked this morning and I asked Schaefer this morning. It's at like 93% chance of rain tomorrow and some possible hail and high wind. So I'm like, is it going to be canceled? And he goes, no, because if you he looked at the hourly and we're just going to get some rain in the morning and stuff. But during the outing, which I think it starts at 1.
It does start at 1.
Yeah, and then so we'll get there. I don't know. My brother-in-law David, he'll come over from the cities. He's driving all the way over from the cities just for this, and then going home afterwards.
Yeah.
So he'll be up about noon. We'll get there about 12:15. I think Schaefer said there's like 26 teams so far. Last year was like 14, I thought, and it said 26 teams. If it's a shotgun start, then we're gonna like double stacks. It's gonna take us forever to get through it. And he goes, no, normal 4 hours, but your team will probably take 5. He's seen us golf before.
That's right. Yeah, because I just got my clubs out, so we're ready to go. We'll be hitting I'm excited for tomorrow. I love it. It's all for a good cause. It goes to volunteers, and so
I think for the scholarship too, wasn't it the Volunteers of Spooner Health Scholarship Fund this year's golf outing? I'm reading it right literally off their pamphlet here. Golf outing benefits Volunteers Spooner Health Scholarship Fund. Every year, the volunteers are able to give out generous scholarships to students going into the healthcare field, and I believe these are local students.
My kid should apply then.
Yeah,
she's going in. And I want a scholarship.
No kidding. I want something for free. The chance of morning showers and storms. See right there tomorrow. Chance of late evening storms. Highs in the middle. Dang it! I have to. There we go. Hot around 9. Oof, Thursday. Cool for the rest of the week and the weekends. Today, south, north. All right.
Maybe the winds will help us tomorrow. The winds will be.
Well, hopefully it'll just hurt all the other teams.
Right. Yeah. So
because some of these people, they bring in like ringers, and they take it too seriously. It's like when I was in high school, we'd play for our church. We'd play. I don't think they do this anymore, but church softball. Like all the churches, they play against each other, and there were some like they would. I'm just saying, some people take it a little too seriously.
Do you
it's
play
church
pickleball?
softball for crying out loud. What?
Do you play pickleball?
No, and I'm so tired of people talking about pickleball.
It's the new trend.
No, pickleball is here's the thing about pickleball. If you like it, you have to tell everybody that you like it and love pickleball. That's the problem. It's not pickleball itself. It's everyone that loves it.
We got to get someone on to tell me about pickleball because I don't know. I've never played it. I got to play it. I got to go out.
Tom Brady, I guess, bought a pickleball team or something. I thought I heard, or somebody did. I don't know. It's going to be popular for like Mike 2 months.
Maybe Mike Schaefer plays pickleball. We can ask him tomorrow.
All right.
We'll get him on. Maybe Dave Wilson plays pickleball.
Oh. The wind part of the forecast is from Mike. Outstanding. Thanks, Dirk. Dirk, no kidding. He just kills it. And I see his. Well, I know you follow him on his Facebook page.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody love weather as much as Dirk. I mean, he's so passionate about it. Like, I mean that as a compliment. Holy cow.
And thank God there's people like him. I mean, people
I know, because I don't want
I love being the sheriff, and I truly do love it.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad there's people that love to do the things they do, and Dirk's one of them that loves weather. Brian loves to, roof and be a contractor. We're special around here, and we'll take care of each other, and I appreciate it.
The world needs plumbers, because I don't want to do it. And there's some people that just love doing it.
Exactly. You gotta love it.
Yeah, and he does love the weather. All right. Well, that's all we had because I know you have to get out of here. You have a meeting. What's your meeting about? If you don't, can you tell us?
I can. I don't really know.
If I knew, I'd tell you.
I could tell you if I knew what it was about. No, it's an online thing in the next room about our Spielman system and some new features they want to.
Spielman
is a record management system.
That's right. Yeah, so. All right, cool. So I'll see you out at the golf course tomorrow. We'll be back next week, assuming we're not, injured or hurt.
And we're not still playing 18 holes.
Yeah, right. Depends on the rain. We get postponed, and I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow about noon.
Awesome. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. with 20 years of experience, his locally owned and operated business has provided quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Give Brian a call today, 715-520-2271. Fitzy and I'll be back next week for our, wait for it, 150th episode.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. How ridiculous. So until then, thank you for watching, and as always, have a blessed day.